Hello, hello. Welcome back. Or welcome to, I guess. Not welcome back. Just welcome to another Toonkind at 12 frames per second. Once more, Hi, I'm Hexabeast. Hex is fine. Haven't done that intro in a while. This is okay. I've been awake for like 30 minutes. It's fine. Um, I'm playing Matthias, the poor anxiety changeling who is just doing his best. And we
And
are
we appreciate him.
Yes, and we're throwing the resident capybara at him finally. So, hey, if you want to introduce yourself and your boy.
Hi, I am Morsky, also known as Morsky Edge. And I am here with my little lad Hugh because he might have heard some news and might have been asked for a little bit of help as well.
Mm-hmm. It's
So,
it's a
you
townwide
know,
effort to help this boy. He's I guess just general bit of backstory. He's been not captive for like an amount of time, like a little
it's like,
over a week.
yeah,
It's probably been like it's approaching 2 weeks at this point. Like
yeah,
Decimal's
like
given him his coat.
yeah, it's like I figured this is some days after Matthias and Decimal met.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
he's been given, like, Decimal has he went to talk with Memoir, so he had that bit of holy shit. Um, and he's still kind of riding that holy shit, but uh, he also got Decimal's coat that day, so it's
yeah.
yeah. Uh, so it's
It's
probably the next day, and he's still reeling from the Memoir meet. But yeah,
oh boy.
a lot happened in that. Like, he learned a lot. Uh,
Cool.
and equally not enough. So, it's fine.
Uh,
Um,
yeah.
he's in his room still because that is just kind of like his default. He doesn't really leave unless he's dragged out. But, Hugh, you have been told about what's going on with this boy and who he resembles and all of that, and also that he is anxiety incarnate and probably needs a friend.
Yeah. And I mean, well, he was asked for help by his forever, and he likes helping, and this is definitely someone who has been through it. So, yeah. Um, I guess would Matthias like to do a perception?
Sure. Boop. Okay, that's not a 1, that's a 7, so that's a 16.
Okay. You can't tell who is downstairs, but you hear some sort of minor chaos, which,
Yeah.
for the rest of us, that is that is network trying to enact the shiny toll. You giving her like a gem star and then like the kitty eyes of please let me in.
Which he's
And the network tornado.
Yes, of course, you gotta have the tornado. Uh,
Of course.
and he's very much just like, he hears all of this and he recognizes, like, very likely this is someone new. So he's not gonna he's staying here. He's staying put because he also knows Lynn works. So this could be it could be a number of things. He's not moving. Uh, but you do, at least, network will help out and highlight the correct door so that you're not left just kind of like peeking through and looking for, looking for this
Yeah.
changeling.
Yeah. And like network will get a thank you for that. And well, there is a knock on your door, Matthias.
And you he's getting a little better about it, but there's still just an acknowledging sound. There is no come in. There's just an acknowledging sound with the expectation of you're going to come on in.
Uh okay then like there is a pause and you will hear um if it's okay, I'll come in now, all right?
Uh
And like another pause.
yeah.
Uh
Uh all right.
the door opens.
Yep.
Um so you've seen plenty of tunes by now, I think. Just
Oh
by
yeah.
being in Einquell for a little bit.
By being in
Um
Halloweentown, let's be honest.
yeah. Yeah, this tune is on the shorter side and he's fluffy.
They
He does not look very threatening, I don't
he
think.
does not look threatening at all. He looks I mean, to be fair, Hugh on the shorter side. No, Hugh's on the average side. There's just still a lot of really fucking tall tunes. Um, and Matthias is used to looking up at people, so having to look down, much like he does with Lynn, is new. Uh, and you do in fact see like his gaze had been up and then it adjusts to down. Uh, and he is very quickly taking all of this boy in. Um, and Hugh, you don't need to roll insight. A lot of Matthias is very terrible at hiding his emotions or his intent. Uh, so he just
Fair.
doesn't. Uh, and this boy is this boy is sizing you up basically.
Okay. I mean, I will be honest with you. He was used to this, considering he's brothers with Decimal.
Yeah.
So, like, you don't need to roll insight on Hugh because, I guess, note of similarity. Hugh's terrible at lying. He doesn't bother to hide his intent,
Mm-hmm.
which Hugh does look a little bit nervous, but you can gauge that that's kind of in the I am meeting a new person kind of way. I
Yeah.
hope I don't mess up.
Yeah.
Um, and well, yeah, Hugh does seem to be here to
Yep.
meet with you.
And he, uh, Matthias, ever polite boy, does like duck his head in a sort of not a bow, but like he ducks his head in a motion similar to that, and he's just, uh, oh, hello there, uh, if you're if you're looking for Lynn or Craigory, they stepped out briefly.
Oh, that's okay. I guess first things first. Nice to meet you. The name's Hugh Script.
Oh, Matthias,
Um, well, nice to meet you. I heard that you're new to Halloweentown, and well, you haven't been much around here. Um, so I guess the question is, do you want to hang out? I could try showing you around town some more.
you get a very confused and rapid blink before he kind of just uh uh if you would like to, oh, all right,
Sure.
because he's still working on the whole things said aren't necessarily orders, and it's okay to, he's still working on that, but it's okay. Like, Decimal has already
Yeah.
dragged him out, and you know
Mhm. And like Hugh as well is working well for the viewers. Hugh has asked Decimal beforehand, like, hey, for this kind of situation, what's something I should do and what's something I should avoid.
Yep.
So he kind of got a bit of a rundown.
Yeah.
Uh, so like he was waiting, like he was like just chilling as Matthias is like making his choice, really.
Yeah. as he's as basically Matthias is scrutinizing to figure out the correct answer, and then uh when he gives that answer, just yep, cool, move on, let's go. If not being given a choice, if not being just get told, hey, we're gonna go hang out, let's go.
Mm.
So he kind of, all right, okay, and he'll actually pick up the he actually does take the coat that Decimal had given him and tug that on. And as he does so, Hugh, you notice he changes form. Uh, he is no longer just that in his act. He's no longer himself. Uh, he is a dark-skinned, dark-haired elf. Still about the same height as he is. Uh, and still with that really long fucking braid of hair. But now he is just not, now he's someone else. Um,
Would Matthias like to roll an insight?
sure. I love that number.
as
Okay.
as much as I love rolling insight, I'll bet.
Let's see. That's a 23.
Cool. Um, you notice you eyeing the coat,
Mm-hmm.
like just for a moment, and then he sees you, well, doing the changeling thing,
Mm-hmm.
and oh yep, those are stars in his eyes.
Uh,
He's definitely wowed by this.
Matthias doesn't know how to handle that, or how to respond to that, I should say. He's never had anybody wowed by him.
uh, Good luck, Matthias. This is probably gonna happen a bunch.
Oh boy.
Hugh is just like this.
We love to see it. But he does all of that, and then he's kind of waiting to, he's waiting to follow Hugh. Which
Okay.
Decimal definitely would have, like, given him he's gonna wait for your cue or for your lead, so you're gonna have to probably step up and yeah.
Yeah. Which like Hugh, Matthias will note like Hugh does just wait, to make sure that like, oh yeah, Matthias has everything he wants. Then
Mm-hmm.
yep, the door gets opened. Hugh actually holds the door for Matthias then,
Mm-hmm.
and
uh
onwards they go.
he holds the door open. Matthias gives him a look like, and he seems to, like, he's frozen, but it's in more of a, wait, no, this is reversed kind of way.
Uh, Hugh, like if this pause happens for a little while, Hugh like gets the question mark above his head, like, uh,
Mm-hmm.
before it disappears, because Hugh's immediate reaction is like, "Oh, is everything okay?" And then, "Oh, wait,
Yeah.
right."
uh which the question mark, Matthias's turn to look at that and just, right, tunes.
Um, yeah. There is a pause, and If you want, I can tell you more about Toons when we're out. That's just something I've been able to do since
I
forever.
if you'd like, I am learning as time goes on.
Yeah. Um, well, so I can help fill in some of those gaps if you want.
If you'd like, he is not doing a very good job of hiding his interest because he likes to learn.
Hugh voice, I can help with this.
Yes,
And
I'm good
like,
at this.
yeah, pretty much. Just like there's going to be a cheery nod from Hugh, and I imagine they're going out at this point. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they've actually started walking.
yeah. Like network is getting the. He'll probably be out for about this long.
Mm-hmm.
I promise not to do anything too crazy with him.
I'll bring him back
If
by sunset. Don't worry.
yeah, like if the plot happens, I swear it wasn't on purpose. You know, the usual
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
Uh, which I guess means it's time to roll survival.
That's the fun thing, actually. Matthias has advantage of navigating Halloweentown.
Yeah,
Oh
he
shit.
does not.
Okay.
Oh, he still beats the DC though.
Hey, 16 or 16. We love to see that. So that's
Hey,
a. Actually, Matthias's is actually a 21. So, a.
nice.
There we go.
Which I will actually say while they're wondering, like, Hugh is going to ask Matthias, would you prefer a route closer to the sea or like more inland?
Uh. He. Hmm. I don't think he actually knows. Um. I. Uh. Whatever you would prefer to take is fine.
Okay. Hugh has given me like they can do a bit of both.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Uh, I guess a bit of a note as well. Like part of the reason Hugh asked as well is like I believe the town Matthias was out was a port
It
town, so
was.
Hugh doesn't know how okay with the sea Matthias might be.
Yeah. Shockingly enough, not that it will come up, but just for, the audience listening, he was kept in a port town. He did not get to go to the port very often. Or when he did, it was very heavily scrutinized. So, like, he was kept in a room.
Ah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
So he
So I
doesn't
think that
have any associations with the sea at the moment.
okay. I think then like they're meandering for a little bit, and he was letting Kara like direct them wherever
Mm-hmm.
before he's just like he makes a choice, and we can do a bit of both.
Mm-hmm.
And he does actually ask Kara if they could go towards the port, or
Yeah, okay.
specifically what Hugh has in mind is Lucille's pier.
Yeah. That is outside of town. And
Ah,
yes, so that is specifically outside of the borders of town, and Matthias has been instructed to stay in town. So
okay.
Hugh will probably start to meander that way, and then Kara's gonna just like adjust their path so that they can't quite get there.
Ah,
And if Hugh is like if Hugh questions it, Matthias will say something, but he's just kind of quietly following along right now.
mm-hmm. Admittedly, he was not aware that Steele's pier was outside of town.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I think after a bit of wondering, there's like the realization of, huh, whoops. Okay, let's try this way.
What
Um,
what is it? What's
um, so there's this pier where I met a friend of mine, which is pretty nice to chill out at. So like, could be a nice place to sit and chat or do whatever.
Oh,
Um,
uh where uh where is it? I could probably try to find it.
um, he will describe like the path he was led on before,
Mhm.
but then we'll end it with, I thought it was in town. I get the feeling, I'm getting the feeling it isn't though,
Oh,
with how long this has been taking.
uh
So,
if I I I apologize. I'm not supposed to leave town. Uh
okay.
so
No,
I'm sorry.
it's okay. No worries. Like, that can be something for the future then. Um, I guess in the meantime, though, we can find another pier to chill out at that's like actually in town.
Uh
Um,
I know there's the lake.
yeah.
He kind of just offers like a helpless shrug, like that's all I know. I don't go out much, man.
Well, let's do our best to find it. Then we can ask Kara for help. And like in the meantime, then I can start telling you about tunes and stuff.
And he'll nod at that.
Which, hey, going off of that, I'm pretty sure there is a little bit of wondering before these two just need to go ask Kara.
I mean, with a 21 survival from Matthias, he could pretty easily get in there, but like he is also following Hugh, so you know.
Yeah, and well, Hugh has beat the DC. He has just beat the DC, so
Mm-hmm.
he can ask. The town is nice.
Yeah, Kara's nice,
Yeah.
especially
Uh,
apparently in regards to Matthias, because every time he like reaches a hand out, Kara will bump up against it like a freaking cat, and he's delighted by that.
oh, cute.
Yeah.
I I do find it sweet that it's like you have these two talking nicely to the town, and then just the town treating them nicely back,
Mm-hmm.
pointing them in the right direction.
Mm-hmm. But then of course there's it's Kara. Kara is kind of a shit sometimes, so you know.
Yeah, yeah,
It's how she be.
yeah. And we love her.
Yeah.
Although going off of that, Hugh will actually ask Matthias like what he knows of tunes by now.
Uh he kind of it's not like he so he thinks a moment. I mean, I know kind of the basics, I guess. And he'll give like the basic rundown of like the sub races of tunes and the very like the sort of like subtle variations between each one. Um, and then he diverges into something weird because he starts going on about ink.
Huh.
He knows a lot about this boy knows a lot about Toon Ink. Uh, and the variations thereof.
You admittedly does that. Like, I'm sure Hugh knows the basics.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people would normally know about blood types.
Mm-hmm.
Which his reaction to that is like, huh, okay. I didn't know that some of that stuff.
Yeah.
He, like,
Like he's oh go ahead.
I believe we agreed upon that, like, he would probably have, like, an oils ink type.
Yes.
Yeah. So, like, he would mention that offhand,
And
considering this topic came up.
mm-hmm. And Matthias will basically he'll comment like, I mean, that makes sense. You are a Frankenalley, and that's they. And he starts going on about like the types of ink that are, pretty like, uh, pretty like Frankenalley tend to have these types. Warren will have these types. Rubber Hose have these types. UPAN will have these types. Hausen are the weird ones, but they tend to also have like certain types of like he's going on and on. Like this boy has so much knowledge about ink. It's and then you think about it, he was kept captive by vampires. That actually does kind of make sense.
Yeah, like Hugh isn't judging. You know that thing when you start rambling about something, but you're like, actually, wait, what do you know of the topic? So I know where to start off of.
Mhm.
And then you get caught in the other person's tangent.
Yep,
That's you,
exactly.
right? That's you right now.
Yeah, so he's giving that kind of bit, and then he realizes he got off a little like off uh a little off topic, and he ducks his head like sorry, a, a lot of my knowledge is about the ink and the inherent skills that tunes have
Fair, no worries.
and
Um,
he does just kind of, I also know y'all do have the whole like, and he just kind of like reaches behind himself with like miming pulling out of a hammer space.
yeah, and he will nod at that and then go, yeah, like this. And he will like put a hand in his pocket.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm gonna roll hammer space. Yeah, okay, Hugh, what do you have in your hammer space again? Actually, wait, I know what he pulls out. Uh, so like, you've given Hugh a good look earlier. It's
Yep.
his coat. Considering you gave him quite a searching look, you may have noticed there are hidden pockets,
Yeah.
but he isn't pulling out one of those hidden pockets. He's just pulling out from seemingly thin air.
Yeah, from behind his back, basically.
Yeah, for Hugh, at least how he tends to pull out from his hammer space is just like essentially pulling out from his code.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, he can still access his hammer space without the code, but generally then that is when he pulls out from either a pocket or behind his back.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh, but in this case, uh, what he pulls out is like a stack of playing cards.
Hmm. Okay.
Um,
And Matthias just kind of
specific
nods. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
specifically, if Matthias wants to pull intelligence, I guess he can.
Uh,
Considering these
sure.
were gifted to Hugh by decimal.
Sure. That's a 14 plus. That's 16.
Okay. They do make you think of a certain someone you've met previously.
Okay.
Uh, but as is, like, Hugh pulls them out. Actually, let me try rolling sleight of hand to see if he pulls off this trick well. Oh, he so Hugh like tries to do this springing card trick where like the cards
Oh,
go from one hand to the other.
yeah. He tries to get fancy with his shuffling.
Yeah, but as he does so, he probably like trips over a rock. So he doesn't lose the cards, but he does stumble and rubs the back of his head
Mm-hmm.
before he returns the card.
He stumbles, and Matthias immediately like moves to catch him. Just
Thank you. Sorry about that.
no, it's it's
Um,
it's all right. It's all right. Just it's okay. I just didn't want you to get
thanks.
hurt.
Thank you. Um, but well, pretty much tricks like that. That's called pulling from hammer space for us too.
And he
Um,
nods like, yeah, he knows that.
I know. Like, I tend to have a preference for pulling stuff out from my coat, while I wear it. And I know that's the case with a bunch of others, but like, there are a lot of places you can pull, items out of. Depends on the person's design, really.
He nods because he is recalling back to Talent Stole, where Marcel took off his hat and then just kind of shook it and a soup pot fell out.
Yeah, yeah. Um, and like, so you know about the different subraces? Well, I'm not sure if you would say that name.
Mm-hmm.
So you know about like Frankinelli, Cornet, and so on. Um, I guess you can also differentiate when a tune comes from a certain area or if they're descended. Um, since say on my end, you see how my design is, right? So I am a Frankinelli. I'm also Ghiblian, since that's how my blood related family is.
And he thinks a
Um,
moment. From actual Ghibli, is that's what you mean?
yeah. Like specifically, my ancestor came from there, and he helped. He came to and so that's where my family comes from.
He's gonna roll. Bloop. Nat 20.
Yeah,
He
but
knows about yeast. Hey.
hey, oh man, like that fumbling words, that was in character as well.
Ah.
Uh, did he do any research
Uh.
on the families from yeast?
You know what? Given that he nat 20 that history, uh, which makes it a
Yeah, you
26 on the dice, I'm gonna say he probably one of the few books he probably had access to was a fucking like maybe like a history book.
yeah, you'd probably get to mention that like, yeah, the script family is from yeast. It's like the presiding noble house there.
Which he kind of
Which
like has that realization, and then Hugh, you don't need to roll. You see, this happened with the decimal FPS too, where Matthias is now immediately like reevaluating his view on this child, and you see he you mentioned that your family is from Yeast, and then you see those dots connect, and it's a pretty obvious like, oh, he recognizes Yeast. Oh, he recognizes Yeast. Oh, he recognizes me.
there's a pause and there's like, um, you don't need to worry or anything, yeah. You panicking, you internally panicking on like, yeah, I know I'm technically a noble. I don't care about that though. You don't need to either.
Uh,
It's okay.
yeah, he is. You don't see like he's not like oh god groveling, but you notice he stands up straight. Like it's a posture thing. It's like a presentation thing. Uh,
um, yeah,
and
there.
yeah,
Oh, Hugh is like, no, I picked up, and you probably catch like this train of thought in on Hugh's face when he catches how you're standing,
mm-hmm.
and he's like, you really don't need to worry, about the family I'm descended from. It's okay.
I, uh, I, the,
These two are such dorks.
he is trying very hard to, he's trying very hard to stay calm, and like, he's doing his best, he is thinking very hard about like everything, and he finally like his posture does not relax. It does not relax. I'm sorry, but he does. I right. It's I'll be all right. I'll be all right. It's okay. We uh uh.
Both of these two panicking here a bit.
Mhm.
Hmm.
It's okay. He'll be okay. He is Hugh kind of shot up a bit in oh god, how do like how important how oh god it's okay.
Oh, you like, I don't want to make this person anxious. I also personally do not want to be like treated differently. Please
Mhm.
no. I
And
want to think I do a good job of like
I
not being weird or anything when I'm outside.
I want to get a good grade in being normal.
Yeah, exactly.
Which understandable. He is doing his best to not panic. And not
I
make a big deal. Like he's doing his
okay.
best.
And we appreciate him. I actually actually wait, that does give me the thought of so like they were walking while this panicking was happening.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say they've like hit the sea that does border with town by now?
They would have hit the lake because the town is inland. It does. It has a
Ah,
river. It doesn't have.
okay. Uh,
At least from what I remember. But anyway.
okay. Yeah, like they like this panicking is going on. Would would you say could Hugh gauge if giving Matthias a distraction would help with the panicking and
uh, he would probably like a distraction. Yes, but it's more of like talk with him. Talking with him seems to be the best way.
yeah, Hugh hears the water. Matthias, you see the light bulb above Hugh's head as he goes, "Hey, do you want to see how to light a fire underwater?"
That that snaps him out of it pretty quickly because I what?
So, Craigory, uh, he and I like to do wizard experiments every now and again. And like,
Uh-huh.
we're both nerds. It's fun experimenting with this stuff. And there's this trick I learned recently of lighting a fire underwater.
You have Matthias's full attention.
And I want to surprise him with it. And also I want to surprise Lucille, who's like a friend of ours. Um, because I think her reaction would be really funny. So I can show you how if you want.
There are yes, please show this boy. He is absolutely like how in the hells do you do that? He is working through the logistics of it and cannot come up with a satisfactory answer.
Okay. Well, the first thing that's important is, you do need some magic for it, and it's still a pretty tricky trick. But what I figured out is the following, and like they come to the lake.
Mhm.
Uh, Hugh will just warn Matthias not to get too close. Uh, just simply because this is still a fire that's going to be underwater.
Yeah.
There's going to be some boiling water.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so like he will just warn about that and will say like, so in my case, I'm an evocation wizard, yeah? So I figured out the trick how to control my spells pretty well. Uh, but not everyone is able to do that. So
Mhm.
just make sure to be careful and don't stick your hands right in the water like I'm doing now, unless you can also sculpt your spells.
And he nods.
And like, there is probably some rambling from Hugh. He gets like a dry piece of, well, probably gets like a branch from nearby, sticks it into the water, and then one, two, three, huzzah! There's water lit. Well, there's a fire lit underwater. It's a
Matthias
blue fire.
is. Yeah,
It's
okay.
oh,
No, Matthias
uh,
is staring, like, absolutely enraptured.
you're like you are getting the logistic rambles because I don't know
Oh,
this,
yeah.
but you would.
Yeah.
And
No.
like you will note in particular, this fire is a blue fire,
Mm-hmm.
which
Matthias.
Matthias
Oh, go ahead.
like Matthias will probably be able to figure out that like that is because he imbued his magic into this flame pretty strongly.
Between that and this is a really fucking hot fire, yeah. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. Matthias is listening to all of this, and Hugh, you just, like, he looks at all of this, and there's just a very quiet, fascinating from him.
Pause and I should probably ask first, can you use magic?
Oh,
Do you want to learn how to do this?
I, I don't know if my magic would be suited for that. I'm a healer. Uh,
That's still really cool though.
he turns, he, he, it's harder to tell with the darker skin, but he definitely is turning a shade of red or pink.
Look, like Hugh sees that and he uses, look, healing magic is cool. Like my own really my own magic isn't really suited to healing. Um, I can do healing elixir, which I'm really glad I can do, but I can't do any of like the bigger ones like cure wounds. Just
That, I mean,
it's hard. I can't form my magic in that sort of way. So like the fact that you can, that's super cool.
that, it's, I just, that's, I mean, I'm a healer. That's just what I do. I'm not really, I'm not much suited for combat, so and he just, like, he kind of, like, waves a hand as he's, like, explaining, and yeah, you do see his magic, kind of, like, collect at his fingertips, and it looks kind of like street lamp light.
Ooh.
It's soft, it's got that soft yellow glow, uh,
Mhm.
which, when you were told about, like, who he is and who he resembles, you probably have a lot of expectations. Yeah, so far the only thing that has clocked, like, as similar are, one, he has the same stride as the thrall, and two, when he said fascinating, that was very similar. But otherwise, nothing about this boy resembles anything about the thrall.
Yeah. Like at this point, Hugh's take on is like, sure, like they might be similar or whatever, but like it's like I don't know, consider them like twins, except Thrall is the evil twin.
Yeah, exactly. Thrall is the evil twin. You've done it.
Yeah, exactly. So Hugh's like, yeah, Matthias is cool. We'll be friends.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't say this out loud for obvious
Yeah,
reasons,
for
but
very obvious reasons. But yeah, just like
but internally he was like, cool. We should be friends.
excellent.
And
God,
like, look, Hugh is just like this, and I love him.
I know.
Ju- just Hugh starts rambling about like, wow, that looks really neat. Like, still, like the ability to heal is a really important skill that saves a lot of lives. And like, have you managed to experiment with your magic a bunch?
And
Do you want to try it out?
Matthias does admit, like, no, I only just got access to my magic back when I came here. Which, yeah, he kind of had it locked and permitted only under specific,
Oh,
yeah. And he'll, like,
yeah.
I was only permitted to use it, in certain instances and supervised prior.
Okay. Well, I mean, we're here now, so if you want, we can try it out.
Try what out?
Well, I mean, it's a good idea to know what kind of magic you can do, right? Like, we'll probably want to just make sure to be careful and, the usual setup for practicing magic.
Kind of like,
And Hugh's probably gonna like rattle a bunch of things because it makes sense that in universe with magic existing, there is like some to do's and what to not do's
mm-hmm.
for practicing magic.
Matthias
Like,
kind of like, Hugh is going on. You want to roll insight for me, buddy?
sure, I would love to. Low roll, but that's an
Let's see.
18.
Oh, no, that's plenty. The DC for this boy is so easy.
Is he an 11 like you?
He's a 9.
Oh, oh, buddy.
He has negative charisma. Um,
Oh, you physically cannot
mm-hmm.
not make that then.
Yeah,
Cool.
no, like you can read this boy. It's easy. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Hugh is going on about explaining and finding and like do's and don'ts, and it's probably pretty obvious he's trying to like. Yes, they're talking about healing magic, but there's also, you can. There, a lot of this is doing damage, um, and you see there is definite like panic rising from this boy. Uh,
Uh, like,
he's like, the more you go on about like actual like attack damage, combat, like, safety, things like that, and it's, yeah, he's not stopping you, but he is very much like, there is that building anxiety of, oh god, like, yeah, yeah.
okay, like, you will pause at that and go like, hey, we don't have to do this. We don't have to do this now or even soon. It's also probably smarter if we make sure that, another, well, a cleric is here. And
I,
probably more experienced people are here too. Um,
I,
so like, if it helps, so there isn't any trouble, you know?
I, I mean, I, I'm not, I don't do, uh, I'm not, and he's trying to figure out, like, I don't want to fight. He's trying to word that, without saying, that, uh, but eventually he settles on, I, I'm more meant to heal, not fight, and I, that's my wheelhouse,
Okay.
and you get the big feeling, that, yeah, he's very much, when he said he's a healer, he means that, like, in every sense of the word. He doesn't, like, he's like Asclepius almost, in that uh he doesn't want to harm. uh he very likely could, um but he doesn't want to.
Yeah, I know, and like, he respects that, and he's like, oh, yeah, no, of course. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's interesting to note, like, he was having fun rambling about all of this stuff. If you had the choice, yeah, he'd prefer not to hurt anyone either.
Mm-hmm.
I know I say, like, lightning bolt is Hugh's favorite spell, and it is.
Yeah.
Um,
Which, yeah, that's why I'm just like, uh-huh, uh-huh.
yeah, but here's the thing. Unless he has to, he generally doesn't use it.
Yeah.
Um, a lot of the stuff he's explaining right now, is actually like basic stuff for when you create a fire or create some kind of element, how not to mess that up,
Mm-hmm.
and hurt yourself or someone else. Matthias would be able to know that Hugh knows this stuff
Yeah.
very well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And well, I guess Hugh is very covered. Um, so Matthias wouldn't be able to see this stuff, but just keep a note for later that if Hugh does pull up a sleeve or something, to just roll a perception.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Um, in this
Noted.
case at least, yeah, in this case at least, Hugh's thought was like, maybe we can see if you can make a fire too, so I can do
Yeah.
this trick.
Which let me actually even see if he has
Honestly, this spell would probably fall under the wheelhouse of prestidigitation.
which is
And
thaumaturgy for clerics.
yeah,
And I mean it's technically uh thaumaturgy, like prestidigitation, is more open in what you can do, I guess would be the best way to word it.
yeah,
Whereas thaumaturgy has a bit more of
set ruling, so
yep,
to say.
yeah.
Yeah,
Um
yeah. I, uh, I will say, like, with Matthias's rising panic, like, he will say very firmly, like, if you don't, like, if you don't want to fight, you don't have to fight, okay?
he like there's it's a very like fervent nod of like yeah, yeah, I like I understand, I hear you, yeah. Uh
Yeah, and like you can tell that he was saying like, I am not forcing you to
mhm.
do that, no way.
But no, I'm sorry. I'm looking at and I don't think he has anything that would let him do what, Hugh is doing, sadly.
Ah, F.
Yeah. But that's okay.
Yeah, it's okay now, Matthias. Matthias knows at least.
Yeah. He knows the logistics of it, and honestly that's
Yeah,
really what he's like more interested in.
yeah. Like he will pause. Honestly, what Hugh wants to do is apologize for making Matthias anxious, but he doesn't know, like, will that make Matthias panic more because of
Uh
everything?
Decimal would have mentioned like probably just like any apologies will be immediately acquiesced. So like if you do apologize, like just expect him to try and downplay, his reactions.
Yeah, so like Hugh, like, so Hugh won't do that.
Mhm.
Um, but he will go like a bit slower at
Yeah.
explaining stuff,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and like he'll go into explaining what his magic is, which is he's an evocation wizard.
Mhm.
Um,
And he
so
like that does in fact like that does a pretty damn good job. Like Matthias is listening and then eventually like yep, that panic kind of eases out. He's listening cuz this is fascinating.
hey, like there's a pause and just like, so I can do things like this, and like he creates like some sparks of electricity,
Mhm.
or is able to make a little flame that's like cupped in his hands.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, since I'm an evocation wizard, I can pretty well manipulate some of the bigger, like fire and lightning spells out there. Um, it's in part like why I know those rules very well. Um, there's a pause, and you know it. Hugh will take off a glove,
Mm-hmm.
and on Hugh's hands there are a bunch of like I believe they're called Lichtenberg
Oh,
scars.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so there are a bunch of little ones.
Mm-hmm.
So like this happened while I was still learning those tricks, and since he was showing his hand, would you like to have Matthias do a perception?
Of course. Bloop. That's a 23.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, yeah, you absolutely see this. So like you see small nicks and stuff, which you figure, yeah, Hugh did that to himself. You're able to like you're able to see down his sleeve though
Mm-hmm.
of like the coat and his shirt. And how familiar is Matthias with the spell Eldritch Blast?
Shockingly, not very.
Okay. Um, you you probably don't recognize from what spell that is exactly then, but there are a bunch of scars from that.
Mm-hmm. It's he recognizes what spell scars are.
Yeah. Yeah, these are a bunch of like Eldritch Blast scars,
Mm-hmm.
which are like they're old, they're faded. You can tell they were healed,
Mm-hmm.
but whatever it was, it happened enough that like yeah, no, those
Yeah.
scars are still remaining.
Yep. Those they aren't fading, which yeah. Uh Matthias sees the Lichtenberg scars on his wrists or on it, I mean on his hands, and he's like
Yeah,
there is that instinctive like wince of like oof sympathy pains uh
yeah.
cuz yeah, he knows hand pain. He knows hand pain very well. Uh
Ooh,
Hugh,
yeah.
would you have rolled perception on his hands? Cuz he's not wearing
You're
gloves.
sure a perception you said.
Mhm.
Please roll well, Hugh.
Since you're
15.
rolling since you know you're showing his hand or Hugh is showing his hand, Matthias is like not necessarily showing his hands, but it's one of those like he's they're not covered cuz you know um
Yeah.
let me go back to roll zone 15. That's yeah, that's I'd say that's enough. He isn't making a big
Yay!
like he isn't showing it, but you notice it just kind of he winces, and his hands like he does the instinctive like covering a hand with the other one kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
uh
Yeah.
and that's when you notice Hugh, his right hand, which is covering his left, has a very it's a line down literally like I mean down the back of the hand. And you know a scar when you see one. You know what a stabbing scar looks like. Uh
Yeah.
yeah. Uh
Yeah.
and when he like finishes wringing those hands, you see the left hand has an equal scar, but this one is like off center. And that hand, those last two fingers don't seem to move very well because that scar seems to have caused some severe damage to that finger, or those fingers.
Ooh.
And what you don't see, but what you could probably infer is that scar goes through to the palm, on both hands.
Ooh.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oof.
he doesn't say anything. He doesn't draw attention to it. He just there's that sympathetic wince of ooh hand pain. Yeah, get that. He brings his
Yeah.
hands together and you probably catch that and he's just yep, like that's he just kind of like he does that like sympathetic wince, and then he's just, ooh, that could not have felt good.
Uh, no, I admit part of the reason why I made sure I knew how to use spell sculpt is, to make sure none of my friends felt that from my magic
And he
or
nods.
any family.
He nods at that, and then he kind of like realizes what Hugh said of like, oh, you know how to sculpt your spells.
Yeah, 'cause evocation evocation wizard, right? So
Right. No,
there's
that's, yeah, that would make sense then. Yeah, you know how to do. Of course, of course. And he's like, he kind of perks up like, oh, right, of course. Like, I know this. I know this.
Hugh cheers up as well, like pulls like figures, probably should put my glove back on, so he puts it back on. Oh yeah, Matthias will also be able to note, like Hugh is a fairly human-like tune.
Oh, yeah, no, he's like,
Just
yeah.
like he's pretty much human, except the bird's tail would have been like
Yeah.
immediately seen,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but with this and this closer look, he would also be able to see that, oh, Hugh's nails are sharp.
Ah,
Ha! He has slit eyes as well.
okay, okay, okay.
Um, like I'm trying to figure out whether Matthias would have been able to gauge based off of which animal. Uh,
Mm, the bird tail would make him, would remind him of memoir, and he would immediately just say, probably some kind of bird.
uh, funnily enough, no,
Yeah.
but that's a fair guess.
Like, that's just his
Yeah,
immediate, like, yeah, bird. All right.
yeah. Um, but like getting a closer look at Hugh and like the fact that his pupils are slit, like they do dilate and
Mm
such. Um,
hmm.
like seeing Matthias perk up, Hugh perks up too. Like out loud, what he does is like, well, I guess it's probably not a good idea to just stick my hand in some fire I made.
uh, Matthias isn't gonna say yeah, like he's just gonna nod. Of course, like of course, don't do that.
Hugh, Hugh, not for the reason Matthias is hoping, though. Hugh is more, I could do that fine, but I think it would freak you out. So I
It
better
might,
not do
yeah.
that.
I mean, he would have the initial like, oh what, and then he would probably like once he realizes, oh right, spell sculpting, he's fine.
Yeah, so Hugh says that out loud, but um, I guess maybe some other time with some supervision, I can show you a bit more of my magic. Oh, though
Hmm?
I never got back to you on to telling you about the rest of stuff about tunes and actually if we're here and we're sitting down like this anyways, let me pull something out.
Matthias nods, just like okay. His head's kind of tilted to one side.
uh, lo and behold, Hugh pulls out a bag of cookies.
Ah. Matthias, you just kind of see his like his head tilts the other way.
And then lo and behold, Hugh pulls out another bag of cookies and Hugh says, um, do you like sweet stuff?
Uh,
Because now's not a bad time for a snack.
I, yes. He is
You are given the bag of cookies.
Yep, and he'll take them, and you do notice he takes them, and he is waiting to see what you do with yours.
Yeah, he's just gonna oh, because the way these bags are, it's a little bag
Mm-hmm.
tied with a blue ribbon.
Mm-hmm.
Matthias can probably see pretty easily that it's the same kind of ribbon Hugh ties his hair or the color of his shirt is tied with,
Mm-hmm.
but he just simply unties the ribbon and has like starts having a cookie.
All right. And once Hugh starts eating, Matthias will as well. Which
Yeah.
again, Decimal would have told him. Like,
Yep.
so
Yeah.
this.
This was under. Hey, if I want to give Matthias a gift, what's a good way to do so?
Yep. What's a good way to do that? And just
Yeah.
give him some cookies. Make sure you have some. He probably won't eat until you do.
Yeah.
And yep.
So
But he's
success.
yeah, he's eating he's eating the cookies, and he seems to enjoy them because he keeps eating them. He didn't just take one and then stop. He is eating.
Yeah, like Hugh boys, my brother makes the best cookies, doesn't he?
And Matthias kind of pauses a moment. Uh, no, Decimal would not have mentioned that, so he just goes, "Oh, your brother."
Yeah. Um. So I have three brothers. One of them is March, and he's an amazing cook.
And Matthias nods, like,
Uh, he's my little brother, though. He is a fair bit taller than me.
"Oh."
Yeah. He's like 6'8". He's taller than you too. Um.
That Matthias, yeah, Matthias knows that height. He's just like, tall.
Yeah.
Why everybody tall? His
Do
rescue
not.
party was tall. Why is everybody tall?
He was like nodding in solidarity, like, yeah, like somehow all of my brothers are like 6 feet tall or taller, and then I'm, well, here at my height.
Matthias nods.
Short person solidarity,
Matthias
even
is
if they're
short for a
like,
changeling too. Like he's just short.
I mean, yeah, that's valid of him. He was also like pretty short, being that he's 4'6",
Mm-hmm.
which might be average for a tune, but
It
still.
is average for a tune, but yeah.
uh,
God.
um, hmm?
Just God.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's funny. The fact that these two are like, yeah, short person solidarity.
Mm-hmm. Which is funny because Matthias is a changeling. He could be taller.
Yeah.
But no.
His height's a good height, no?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so Hugh will like also like talk a bit more about tunes. Probably go on to explain, say, what Grolix is,
Mm-hmm.
and will actually cite Lynn as a reference for Grolix.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, we'll also like mention the language Grolix.
Mm-hmm.
Mm, like, I guess it can be different for each person. Um, Desmo tends not to use it much, but he tends to have cat noises, and ever since I got my redesign, uh, I've also often had like cat noises, and also now bird noises.
He kind of blinks at redesign because that's a new one. But also Decimal making cat noises.
Yeah. Specifically, I remember like RJ said one time somewhere, like, occasionally if like angry and using Grolix, you'll get like the cat yowls or
Mm-hmm.
something along those lines. So like, yeah, cat cat noise.
Yep. Which Matthias is, I wouldn't say holding on to that as ammo later, but Matthias will remember that.
Cool. uh, and like he'll note and like, and I can do cat noises like a pause, and then he does like a bra noise.
Yeah, like the little cat meow, and
Yeah,
the look Matthias gives him, and then he's just, that is uncanny.
you will just shrug. It's, I guess in my case, so you look surprised at redesign. To give an explanation, sometimes just cute tunes will get redesigns. Like it can be after an important event, or it can just happen as time passes. A little like how when real kind grow, they look different. The same happens for a lot of tunes, but I guess some of the best examples I can give is after a couple pretty important events. I got my claws and like my eyes here ended up getting them after I was rescued one time by my family. Um,
Matthias is
it's
taking all of this in and kind of thinking.
Matthias can also try rolling on intelligence, I think, at this point, because now he would know that some of those parts are actually because he's a bit cat now.
Yeah,
See if he can connect a dots.
let's see. Bloop. That's a 16.
Hmm. Do you think that's enough to figure out that yeah, Decimal's one of those brothers you mentioned?
Uh, Probably not.
Yeah, just cause it hasn't been outright stated.
And uh,
Like,
Hugh might have mentioned. I don't even remember if Hugh's mentioned decimal yet.
he has.
Okay.
He mentioned Decimal in the like you in character mentioned that yeah, Decimal can say make cat noises
Oh
like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I can make yeah, like Hugh
Uh,
said I can make cat noises ever since my redesign.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
the brief mention of decimal, but he's not like he didn't get
Yeah.
mentioned in the brothers thing, so like it's one of those he hasn't quite put that piece together yet. I'd say.
Yeah. Um like let's see. I know I know March got a redesign a little while back. Um there's like think Craigory got a redesign after some pretty big events. Got more red in his design, which is a good look for him.
So you're explaining all of this, and Matthias is taking it all in, and he finally like, so it's symbolic of growth,
Yeah.
and he nods at that, like, because he can understand that.
Yeah.
So its tunes are pretty and he's kind of now like taking what he recalls of like Lynn and Craigory are literally wearing basically the same outfits most of the time. And he's just, I see, okay.
um, so I guess it's different for every person, right? Like you got all kinds of real kind, you got all kinds of tune. I know there are tunes off of Einquell, like in Furuma, though I haven't met many. Those I guess I've only ever been in the one place in Furuma. You makes a face.
You get the head tilt, but Matthias is not probing.
Um, there is this one place called Catterden, which,
Matthias knows that. You can see the instant recognition and, ugh.
yeah, so I wasn't there long, and anyways, I don't think I'd really do well there. But,
No, and I would advise you stay away.
yeah, that's the plan. Admittedly, only ever went there 'cause, had to go get a brother back. Uh, he was kidnapped, so.
Now let me. Boop. Yeah, okay. Alright, okay.
Oh?
So Matthias, when he met Decimal, one, Decimal recognized his voice, and two, Matthias recognized him because the two had not necessarily met, but seen each other while Decimal was captive at the Viridian Garden.
Yeah, and
And
Matthias found out some things,
and
didn't he?
yeah, so Hugh says all of this, and then there is that like there's the look of information that has clicked when, and he just kind of, and Matthias very very quietly just says, "You're how he got out."
Hmm?
Uh, uh, Decimal.
Oh, yeah. Um, yeah.
And he,
I, well, I March and Gray we only found out later, but as soon as we did, we went to go back for him.
he nods at that. Just, I'm glad you got him out.
Yeah, me too. I I can't believe there are people who would do some of the things I'd seen there.
Well, Matthias kind of, he doesn't like, he just kind of like can only shrug a shoulder of like, there's a lot of people like that in the world.
Oh, well, the important thing is we all got out. We uh we managed to get Decimal and hey, you're here now, right? So
And
it's gonna be better.
he does kind of smile a little at that, like, yeah, yeah. And then he takes another cookie.
He will as well. Cookie good.
Cookie good. No sad, only cookie.
Yeah. Like there's probably a little bit of silence
Mm-hmm.
and then like Hugh will like bring in some more conversation about whatever, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Maybe some like maybe some more tidbits on tunes I can't think of right now, or just like some more rambling about magic.
Mm-hmm. You also he would also pick up, I think, that like even as the silence sits, like Matthias is pretty used to the silence, like, or just silence in general. Like he's he doesn't make it awkward. He's just like content to, have that silence.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. He's
It's really not like or it's cool. Like Hugh is naturally chatty
mm-hmm.
and you can tell Hugh is having a he was having a pretty good time, honestly, whether he's like trying to answer questions or like let Matthias know about stuff or just
Mm-hmm.
vibing in the silence.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's
It
nice.
is. Mm. That's, I mean, he's content to sit. He's content to have, you know.
Oh,
Oh, excuse me. Oh.
no
Sorry, I shouldn't be
worry.
yawning, but he's like,
It's so chill.
yeah,
We're all getting the chill vibes.
he's like, it's companionable silence, and he's just like, there's no pressure. You're just sitting eating cookies at the lake. It's, you know,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah. Pause from Hugh while they're eating cookies, and you can see he's. You think this is a lake that would have like stones beside it?
I honestly, I don't know, but I can't imagine why it wouldn't.
Yeah. Um, he's trying to see if he can find a stone, and we say it's Dex to try and see whether Hugh can skip a stone on the lake's surface.
Yeah, yes.
I'll go ahead and do flat Dex because Hugh has never done this before,
Mm-hmm.
so no proficiency for him.
Mm-hmm.
It's not too shabby. That's a 16.
Yeah, I'd say he can do that.
Like maybe skips once or twice.
Mm-hmm.
You see you be very excited in a I can't believe I did that kind of way.
Yeah. Uh, I think uh Hugh does that, and Matthias kind of like, you know, mirror. Uh, he also will look for a stone, and let's see if yeah, no, of
Oh,
course that makes sense. He nat one that.
oh no.
He tries, it just
Consider
plunks in the water.
consider though it's a very impressive splash and Hugh said like, "Oh, that was a really big splash."
Matthias just kind of ducks his head.
Oh,
He doesn't
on it.
quite see the appeal, but that's okay. He's fine with that.
Oh, Hugh meanwhile, ooh, big splash.
Mm-hmm. Big
Mm,
splash. Matthias just like, oh, but it's okay.
so,
Oh, go ahead.
oh, Hugh's just, um, so I never really skipped stones before, but we could try practicing. Um, I'm sure if you did it enough, you'd be able to do free hole skips more than I did.
Matthias just kind of, I probably it stands to reason. He's he is he's very clearly not used to not being good at a thing.
Oh,
Is the best way I know how to describe that in the non saddest way possible.
the fact that you have to say that. Oh, I,
he
I,
he's not used to having to start from square one. How about that? Uh
ah,
he's he just for, you know, for the audience, he was given talents to perform what he needed to while he was captive. So he's not
ah,
used to having to start any skill from nothing. as much as he hates it. Like, just, yeah, it's a new feeling to not be good at something,
Ah,
which is kind of how it is for a lot of adults of like when you try to do a new thing and you're not great at it, it's easier to want to give up on it. But like,
you meanwhile picking up more stones, just like, yeah,
yeah, let's
we
I'm going to
can do
keep going.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matthias is admittedly he's going to keep yeah, oh no. He's going to keep attempting it, but the dice are very
roll,
keen to be like, "No, you get bullied."
uh, roll again, but do it with advantage. Hugh's cheering on is the help action.
Well, okay. Okay. And okay. Well, we'll take the 10, which makes it a 12.
He skips the stone
It
once.
once and it plonks, but hey, he's he did it.
Yeah, he's gonna clap. It's like there's going to be a cheer, and like Hugh claps his hands, like, yeah, progress.
Yeah. Which Matthias's insight is high enough to know, like, that's genuine. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, literally, the DC for Hugh is like an 11, an 11. So
Yeah, Matthias can't fail that. Well, actually, let me
yeah,
just. Yeah, okay. Let me rephrase that. I have to roll to make sure he doesn't nat one it.
yeah,
But otherwise, he can't fail it.
yeah. So like, no, yeah, this lad is 100% genuine.
Mm-hmm.
You've probably caught at this point that Hugh is actually very good at reading people.
Yeah, a little bit.
Uh, but at the same time, like, it's very easy to read him. He's an open book, as they say.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness, 22. He was like,
Oh.
why not? I'll try skipping another rock. Gets a 22 on the
Off it goes. Off it
Off it
fucking
goes.
goes.
Like, not to the other side of the lake, because I assume the lake's a big one, but
Mm-hmm.
like,
It goes a pretty good distance.
yeah.
Matthias just lets out a low whistle.
Yeah, Hugh essentially has like a wow face.
Aw.
Sort of like, that's like a little cheer.
I did that. You did.
um,
Mm-hmm.
I guess next time I come over, when I stop by the lake again, we can
Uh,
practice skipping rock some more.
oh, uh, um, okay.
Yeah,
He's a little confused by that notion, but yeah, sure. He'll if he wants to skip rocks some more when he comes if he comes to visit again, that's fine.
I like how Matthias says if he comes to visit.
Listen,
Um,
he's not used to people just taking time out of their day for him like this. This is all so new.
man, which is fair, but also man.
Yeah. He's it's a process. He'll get better. It's barely been 2 weeks.
Yeah, he is doing his best, and he is doing amazing.
He is, and we love him.
Yeah. Um, I guess with that though, like probably an amount of time passes by.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you think it gets to the point where like both of them notice the time and are like, ah, we should get back?
Yeah, I should return you to network before Lynn and Craigory wonder where you are.
Yeah.
Yep.
Shall we roll? Shall for fun and enrichment? Shall we roll
Let's survival.
survival?
Oh. Okay, that's better. That's 21 for Matthias.
Yo, nice. That's a 19 from you. Pretty good.
Yeah, so Matthias knows, like, once he's figured out, like, because he's figured out kind of the tells of, like, what paths Kara's got going on. Um,
Ah,
and he can pretty easily, like, figure out I take this path to this street. Oh, wait, no, this street has this cobblestone today. Okay, so. And then yeah, so it's just a matter of, like, you notice he's looking at the street pretty like intently as he's walking.
ooh, I I think with that, like Hugh, you see Hugh like notice this, and now Hugh's also looking at the street.
You would need to roll perception, and the DC I think is pretty high.
That is very fair. Admittedly, on Hugh's end, it's yeah, doesn't make it. Just like,
Oh no, it was investigation. I'm sorry.
oh,
Uh,
investigation, you say?
yeah, you can still stick with that 8, but
Oh
or you
yeah,
can get a 16. That's fine.
16.
So
Yeah, it's like
so
Hugh. I don't think Hugh's able to catch on to that. It's just like a, oh, you're looking at the streets. I wonder what you see.
yeah,
So Hugh is looking as well, but
yep.
doesn't
He
catch on
doesn't
to the
catch
trick.
whatever it is that Matthias is seeing, but Matthias notices that he's also looking, and he just uh I the uh the stones are different depending on which streets you're on. Each one is unique. And he points out like a specific like he points out the difference between two streets and you cannot see it. Like whatever he sees is it's something. It's like how there's like 6 different words for rock in one language and
Uh, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Like he will note he's having trouble like noting the difference, but like it's really cool that Matthias can
Yeah.
see this. Like thank you for showing him. He will continue trying to like perceive.
Yeah.
Uh
And he probably eventually he's just it's kind of like how changelings we have I guess you'd call it a tell. Uh it's
oh
it's how you it's how we recognize family.
oh okay.
Each family has a specific tell. It can be a movement of the hands or in my case, and he makes like a slight gesture to his eyes, which like they're still like they change colors, but there's still like that hint of violet in his eyes. Um,
Oh
it's different for everyone, but every one of us has one, and Kara's Kara's similar. She's got to tell.
that's really neat though.
He
That's so cool.
he ducks his head. He's blushing again.
Aw, bless. Uh, honestly speaking, like Matthias talking about changelings and like how he's able to tell this about Kara. Yeah, no, he genuinely thinks it's cool
Mm-hmm.
and probably while making Matthias more pink, like he will like mention you're probably about the first changeling I'm like really talking to. It's so cool finding about all this stuff kind of stuff.
I mean, from what I've seen, there's not a lot around here, so I mean, that makes sense. I think I'm the only one.
Yeah, like He was trying to think aside from you know who. Has
Mm-hmm.
he met any others? And the answer is no. Which,
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, he will say, like, I've seen another changeling in passing, um, but they're not someone I really spoke to, you know? You're the first changeling I'm really speaking to like this, so just, it's neat. You're neat.
Yep, and yep, yep, more blushing. Um,
Would you? Could I argue, since they are walking back and Hugh is succeeding in making this lad pink? Could I argue that Hugh gets advantage on a sleight of hand roll?
yes.
Cool. We'll see how badly this goes. My goodness.
Okay, that's a 19. Um, which at Matthias's disadvantaged passive perception meets it beats it. So yes,
Yes. Thank goodness.
yeah, no, Matthias's passive is 24, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah,
You
which is why I was asking for the advantage.
yeah,
We are Tokyo drifting away from that one.
mhm. So yes, Hugh, you successfully managed to in one of the pockets uh slip.
Slip in a little something.
Yep. And Matthias doesn't catch the extra weight. He is too busy reeling from being called neat because
Oh, bless.
he's never been called neat. He's been called pretty. He's been called a lot of things, but he's not been called neat.
Oh, bless. Hugh, meanwhile, is like, yes, I am winning at being nice.
I'm getting a good grade in nice.
Exactly. Like, is it not a good feeling to see someone die in a good way when you compliment them?
Yup,
It's the good stuff.
yup. And it's the exact compliment that he's not used to getting, so he's just like, is it good? Is it
Oh,
bad? And he means it well.
I mean, looking at Hugh, you can tell he means it well.
Exactly. That's why he's like, he kind of
Oh,
hunkers down into that sweater because he's wearing both a sweater and that coat. Uh, you you probably very easily clocked early on. He's like decimal layers. Layers are good. Um,
yeah.
and he
I mean,
hunkers down into the sweater, like pulls the like pulls the pulls the neck of it up, and it almost covers his nose.
oh, I, I mean, to be fair, he was also dead to an extent too. Like, you see the coat,
Mm-hmm.
you see the shirt he has and stuff.
Yep.
But like, you see Hughes like very cheerfully walking beside you, just like, yay.
Yep. He is not going to like argue or refute. He is just like, I keep walking.
You are officially neat now,
Yep.
Matthias.
Yep. And that's probably when they arrive back at network.
Oh yeah. And like, uh, you will actually see Hugh like give Network a pat and like, we're back.
Mm-hmm.
Got him like got the both of us back safe and sound.
Yeah.
And then sees Hugh slip like another couple of star gems over to like the bushes, which probably gets promptly yoinked.
Yep.
Uh, but he will then turn back to the Matthias. Well, to Matthias,
Mm-hmm.
and will go. Um, same time next week sound good?
Uh, oh, oh, um, I, blank, blank, blank. Okay?
So, yeah, uh, we could go into town some more.
Uh,
Cause I know there's this really nice cafe. It's called the Ghost Host Cafe. So like, that could be fun to explore.
I, okay? Uh, Mental note, probably don't take him there yet. But.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's fair. Or maybe we could go somewhere else. Lynch told me about a couple of the cafes in town, and
uh,
I've managed to uh be to a couple of them.
oh, okay. Alright. Uh, he's more just like, another one?
Yes, another one.
Yeah, network is just like, playdate, 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 playdate! um,
Like if you're okay with it, of course. But this was nice. If you're down, it would be well. It'd be nice to do it again.
uh, yeah, okay. Sure.
Cool. Thanks.
That blink, confused blink. You get the head tilt.
You will not explain.
Nope.
He's like, he was like calling the face, like, yay,
Mm-hmm.
new friend.
Yep. Matthias is just confused. But he's not gonna.
Congratulations,
Yep.
you have another one.
Yep. And he is just like, okay. Uh, doesn't question it. Just, yep, Hugh wants to do this again next week. Decimal is also doing this again next week. Okay, this is a thing, I guess.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which I suppose following like that, they're able to say like see you for like see you later, but Tyus is able to go in and Hugh is able to head off probably back home.
Yeah.
Uh
Deal with Kara getting him lost since, Kara was so good and so showed so much restraint while Matthias was there.
yeah, yeah. I mean honestly, Hugh probably would have a good time of it and like just brings out his wings so Kara can give him like a tour through the air.
But yeah, Matthias is going to head back up to his room to hang his coat up, which is probably when he realizes there's something in here, huh? And
Yeah. Um, well, Matthias, you find another bag of cookies,
which it,
which it's pretty obvious who it's from because it's the same sort of little bag that
mm-hmm,
you and Hugh were having cookies from, and
mm-hmm.
there's a pair of gloves that they are a similar dark blue to the jacket and looks like they match.
Yep, they match pretty well, and he's just kind of his immediate first thought is, when did Decimal manage to sneak up on me? And then he kind of thinks about it, and then he looks at the cookies, and he's just he just kind of hangs his head like, what, like confused but like defeated acceptance of like, I guess I have
Oh,
gloves now.
congratulations,
He
you
tries
are being gifted.
He is, and he's trying he does put them on, and it's again like the coat. He's not attuned, so it doesn't have that like click, but it that's for our purposes, that's basically it fits, and he's just, huh.
Oh,
And he flexes his hands, and yeah.
Ew.
Gloves gained.
Yeah. And it's like, they're good gloves. They're the same sort that Hugh and Decimal have.
Mm-hmm.
So, quite good for doing stuff with.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. He got gloves now.
Hee hoo.
Hee hoo. And I think that's probably a good point to end it.
Yeah. Thank you very much for having this FPS with me.
Yeah, thank you. This was fun.
Yeah, it was. They're dorks, Your Honor.
They really are. And oh god, now there's three of them because, yeah, Matthias is also a magic nerd, even if
Yeah.
once he comes out of his shell, it'll be much more obvious.
Oh yeah. We're going to later get like study group sessions
Oh
of
god.
Craigory, Matthias, and Hugh together.
Oh god. It's gonna be the nerd book club. The
Yes.
book nerd
Yes,
club.
it
There we
will.
go.
Yes. It'll be glorious.
Mm-hmm.
Craiger is probably going to try and blow something up with Matthias and Hugh being the only thing stopping him. It's
You
cool.
say that, and I'm sorry to say that once Matthias relaxes around people, yeah.
You will be the only brain cell in that
There you
regard.
go. There you go.
But al- but also, it is really easy to pull Hugh into shenanigans.
I
So
I look at Matthias. He has 20 wisdom. He uses it right now, but also he did spend a
this,
very long time with Lady Retrospect, who is I mean,
yeah,
just there you go.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So like, I say this very affectionately. Matthias and Hugh are technically the brain cells, and Hugh probably will note like, hey, we should probably get some help or a second opinion for a certain thing here or there, but there will
Matthias's
definitely be a
basically Matthias's response once he gets used to everything will just be, I'm a healer.
That's like, oh, good point. Okay.
Yeah,
But
I've got our asses covered.
3 minutes later, explosion with Craigory flying.
Mm-hmm. All right. Anyway, I need to hop off. I need to get food.
Oh, yes.
So
With
I'm
that,
going to turn my recording off, and I will yell at everybody in DMs and everything. So,
yes. Bye, everyone.
bye.